स्टार्टअप ऐसा चीज़ कोई नाम नहीं था इस कंट्री में। तो तब हमने शुरू किया, 250 इन्वेस्टमेंट्स किया, स्टार्टअप्स बिल्डिंग फ्रॉम इंडिया फॉर इंडिया एंड फॉर द रेस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड।
That's great.
राइट, इन इंडिया टुडे देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ एंजल इन्वेस्टर्स, देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ, जैसे अपना कर्नाटका में इन बैंगलोर देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड द एलिवेट प्रोग्राम वेयर द गवर्नमेंट गिव्स ग्रांट्स अप टू 50 lakhs
Okay.
for 5 has given grants to up to 1,000।
इसका सोशल इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा? व्हाट इज द सोशल इम्पैक्ट ऑफ स्टार्टअप्स, जो कि आप लंबे समय से। नमस्कार, आज की इस खास एपिसोड में हम मिल रहे हैं खास उद्यमी से, खास पद्मश्री से, जिनका नाम है प्रशांत प्रकाश। बेंगलुरु से आते हैं और एक जाना पहचाना बड़ा नाम, एक्सेल इंडिया के को फाउंडर हैं और इन्होंने देश सेवा, समाज सेवा के लिए बहुत सारा काम किया है। आज इनसे मुलाकात कर रहे हैं, पद्मश्री इन्हें मिला है और इसकी बधाई देते हुए हम इनसे इनकी जर्नी की और इनकी यात्रा के बारे में चर्चा करेंगे। बहुत बहुत स्वागत है सर हमारे इस कार्यक्रम में।
नमस्कार डॉक्टर दर्शनी, मेरा प्लेजर है आपसे बातचीत करने का।
थैंक यू सर। सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मेनी कंग्रेचुलेशंस, आपको पद्मश्री मिला है एंड द एंटायर नेशन इज फीलिंग प्राउड ऑन यू। हमने सुना यू हैव स्टार्टेड एक्सेल, आई मीन यू आर द को-फाउंडर ऑफ एक्सेल इंडिया। हाउ दिस जर्नी बिगिन? सो लिटिल बिट अबाउट।
या सो पहले वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट नाउ 2005। स्टार्टअप ऐसा चीज़ कोई नाम नहीं था इस कंट्री में। तो तब हमने शुरू किया एक्सेल इंडिया। एक्सेल वेंचर फंड मतलब वी डू फंड स्टार्टअप्स इन द वेरी अर्ली डेज। जब शुरू कर व्हेन दे जस्ट हैव एन आइडिया, जस्ट सम इनिशियल प्लान, तब हम थे। फ्लिपकार्ट भी ऐसा एक वाज वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट इन्वेस्ट जो हमने किया। एंड उसके बाद वी हैव इन द लास्ट नाउ 17 years 250 इन्वेस्टमेंट्स किया है।
Oh, that's great.
And we manage about close to $3 billion
Oh, great.
For the country. And in these 15 to 20 years, startup ecosystem ने बहुत सारा प्रगति किया है इस country में, and it has now a major part of our economy. And this Padmashri is a recognition not for me, but it's a recognition for where the startup ecosystem has come.
True, very true.
And it's come of age, so to speak.
So sir, since you have worked for acceleration for this all Swiggy, Flipkart and all other ventures, how do you think, what is the future of this startup in India?
Abhi still it is early days in my opinion. We just are becoming a $4 trillion economy. हम जब 4 trillion से 7-8 trillion when we get there, I think startups will have a very huge role in it. And now startups were initially सिर्फ urban India में था. You would use
Not
them
in
for
rural
convenience. Now you're starting to see startups not only part of urban India, but startups in across tier 2, tier 3 towns and also rural.
True.
But what is more important is startups building from India, for India and for the rest of the world.
That's great.
Right? So we are no longer limited to building for our economy and our country, but we are building from here for the rest of the world. And think of the most recent Operation Sindoor, right? A lot of technology that was put on display.
True.
Had a role of startups, whether it's for drones, whether it's for the next generation of warfare, defense warfare. I think startups will have a huge role to play.
True.
And it's now a very strategic role that startups could play for the country.
That's great. जी हाँ, हम लगातार बातचीत कर रहे हैं एक उद्यमी से, एक पूंजीपति से और एक समाज सेवी से भी, जिन्होंने स्टार्टअप्स को आगे बढ़ाने में अपनी महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाई है। भारत के एक बहुत बड़ा नाम है, जाना माना नाम है। प्रशांत जी से हम बातचीत कर रहे हैं, बेंगलुरु से आते हैं और भारत स्टार्टअप्स को एक्सेलरेट करने में इनकी बहुत बड़ी भूमिका रही है। सो एक महत्वपूर्ण प्रश्न ये है कि इफ समबडी वांट्स टू स्टार्टअप से जुड़ना चाह रहा है और इफ ही और शी हैज नॉट मनी और कैपिटल, हाउ ही और शी start?
In India today there are a lot of angel investors. There is a lot of government, जैसे अपना कर्नाटका में in Bangalore, there is something called the Elevate program, where the government gives grants up to 50 lakhs.
Okay.
For 5 has given grants to up to 1,000 companies, right? So in the very early days incubators होते हैं, accelerators होते हैं. So incubators, accelerators, angel investors, government grants. So there are multiple ways ways in which people get supported, and always there's friends and family. उससे भी मदद मिलता है.
So even in rural India also, I mean.
Now the most recently आपने पीयूष गोयल जी का announcement देखा होगा that the next fund of funds का जो focus आ रहा है SEDB का, lot of the focus is going to be not only for urban India but beyond urban, tier 2, tier 3 cities, but rural India. So that's going to be a key focus.
Okay. एक प्रश्न और भी है बहुत महत्वपूर्ण, जो हमारे दर्शक आपको सुन रहे हैं और जो स्टार्टअप से जुड़ना चाह रहे हैं, इसका सोशल इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा? व्हाट इज द सोशल इम्पैक्ट ऑफ स्टार्टअप्स? चूंकि आप लंबे समय से जुड़े रहे हैं स्टार्टअप से और आप फाउंडर भी माने जाते हैं स्टार्टअप्स के भारत में, तो आप प्लीज बताएं कि कैसे सोशल इम्पैक्ट.
Yes, the social impact, one of the biggest role that startups play is in employment generation.
Okay.
And we have a demographic dividend in the country that we need to take advantage of. And startups are the best vehicle to be able to leverage that demographic dividend. If we don't give opportunities for our youth, and we need to have an opportunity, I mean, we need to create multiple job creation opportunities, and startups are one way through which there is a lot of job creation country.
That's true.
So we have in the last 10 years we have done some studies, and if you see across very low end job to mid-level managerial jobs to high-end jobs, across the spectrum. If you see employment generation and skilling, the capability to build a skilled force in our country, I think startups have had a key role to play. So that is one. And second part is that how do you get education, healthcare, some of these very key services to become more usable and also become more democratically available to a large pool of. I think startups have had a role to play in that.
That's true.
So it's also important that now startups play a role, like I said, in areas such as deep tech, defense, and where we further the innovation quotient of our country. I think we have done a great job thus far creating a large startup ecosystem. Now we have to create a more technologically and from an innovation perspective, more capable ecosystem where the products that we create from our country have the ability to stand to global benchmark, which is what now you see from countries like China.
True.
So we have finished, I think, one phase of our startup journey in our country, which is about creating scale and getting enough critical mass. But I think next we need to kind of elevate the startup game.
That's great. But sir, हमने ये भी सुना है कि बहुत सारी स्टार्टअप्स इंडिया में because of फंड क्रंच बंद भी हो रही हैं, तो what is the reason? आपको क्या लगता है इसके पीछे फैक्टर रहा है?
Yeah, see, startups as a concept, as a category, will have failures. So it's a risky venture when somebody embarks upon doing a startup. In many cases, there is almost between very early stage startups, there's almost 50% chance that the startup may not survive. But once the startups mature, I think you will see that most of them are able to kind of weather shocks and get more resilient. And we're also, as an ecosystem, getting better at creating what I call as more sustainable startups. So there was a phase in our industry where I think it was growth at all costs, and I think we were not so focused on the pragmatism of the money that we are spending and the rate at which scaling is important. But what is more important is the scale sustainable? Is the company going to ultimately generate profits? Because that's the final test. So you could be a very large company, you could have a very high valuation, but if ultimately you don't generate profits, you will not be a viable company. So there has been that side.
Great. So one more question, sir. As you have been conferred or you has been called as a father of startups in India. So what are the major point आप suggest करेंगे हमारे नए startups करने वालों को कि वो ध्यान रखें before begin with that startup, any new startup or venture?
Yeah. So Abhi, what I would say is that people should look at startups that have the ability to build. See, now we are getting into an era of AI, right? So when we are looking at AI, so AI is changing and is all pervasive. Pretty much any field that you think of, AI is going to interfere. So startups need to look at whatever they're starting, how is AI going to impact and what's the role? Second thing that startup entrepreneurs should look at is what is the opportunity for manufacturing, advanced manufacturing and precision manufacturing from India, not only for India but for the rest of the world. And third, entrepreneurs should look at beyond urban India when it comes to the remaining 300, 400 million people. What kind of products and services, what we call as Bharat.
That's good. So आपको पद्मश्री मिला है अभी, क्या कहेंगे, कैसा फील हो रहा है? How do you feel? I mean, did you expect कि आपको मिलेगा पद्मश्री? मतलब कैसा लग रहा है आपको?
No, definitely had no expectation that I'll receive it. And it is, like I said, it is not something that I feel is for me personally. It is for all my colleagues at Accel. It is for the ecosystem that got started in Bangalore and now really is pretty much in every part of the country. And more importantly, it is for the founders who have been able to build value and build a huge economic engine for our country.
That's great. सर हमारे ऑडियंस ये भी जानना चाहेंगे कि आज आप प्रशांत किशोर हैं, प्रशांत प्रकाश हैं आप, और प्रशांत प्रकाश को किसने ऐसा बनाया? I mean, like how you made yourself. कुछ ऐसे पॉइंट्स हमारे दर्शकों को बताएं कि वो आपकी तरह बने. ग्रेट सक्सेस, आप एक सक्सेसफुल उद्यमी हैं, इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट हैं, आपको पूरी दुनिया जान रही है, आपको देश ने सम्मान दिया है, राष्ट्रीय सम्मान. तो आप जैसा कैसे बने, इसके लिए कुछ टिप्स.
So one thing I want to say, and I think this is for a lot of people who feel that if you're not done very well in your education. I was not a very, I was not a first rank student. I was an average student in school, and it is later in college that I found my passion for computers.
Okay.
Right. So I think it's very important that it doesn't matter how well you've done in college, how well you've done. It's important that you find your passion, and once you find your passion, I think then that becomes a driver for you to be able to channel your energy and be able to achieve many things over life. The second thing I would say is that find over a period of time, find a larger purpose in life, right? And that purpose, the larger purpose, was for me to channelize my capabilities in software, in technology, to be able to create an ecosystem in the country that creates jobs. Right, so that became my larger purpose. And as I slightly moved, this purpose, you keep elevating your purpose over time. My next big purpose was, what can I take as learnings from the startup ecosystem and my venture ecosystem and apply it to the large number of problems that there are there in society, right, which are being tackled by NGOs. So how can I use my learnings from the startup world to improve NGOs and work on areas that are very important for societal change? It could be environment, it could be improving the quality of our education system. And during COVID, we were able to bring together the startup ecosystem to really create a difference for people who needed vaccinations and other things during COVID. So you need to not limit yourself sometimes in terms of your knowledge and capabilities in areas where you've acquired it, but see how you can apply it for the larger good of society and create and be a social change maker.
That's great. जी हाँ, सपनों को उड़ान देनी है तो पैशन को जिंदा रखिए. जैसा कि प्रकाश सर बता रहे हैं, लगातार उद्यमी हैं और फ्लिपकार्ट, BookMyShow और स्विगी जैसी कंपनियों को इंडिया में एक्सेलरेट करने में इनकी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका रही है. एक्सेल इंडिया के को-फाउंडर हैं और आज हमसे ये लगातार बातचीत कर रहे हैं. पद्मश्री सम्मान मिला. इससे पहले कि हम कार्यक्रम को रैप करें, सर के पास समय बहुत कम है और हमें इनको जल्दी छोड़ना है, तो हम रैपिड राउंड का छोटा सवाल लेंगे और सर को फ्री करेंगे. सो रैपिड राउंड फायर क्वेश्चन. आर यू रेडी फॉर दैट?
Ready.
Okay, so let's begin with that. Your favorite destination?
I really love any destination where there is water, right?
Okay.
So I think I would say there's this place close to Bangalore called Kabini, on the Kabini river water. That's my favorite.
Okay. So your favorite time pass?
Today it is I'd like to improve my I always had this passion for health, and my favorite pastime today is to be more knowledgeable on how to transform healthcare in this country in the next 10 years.
That's great. So one memory that you'd like to cherish always. One memory, any memory that you'd like to always keep in dream or always cherish.
I would say every venture capitalist, time when one of your companies go IPO. That's
go IPO, right?
Go IPO, and when you IPO,
okay.
I think that's something.
Oh, that's great. So your key motivation?
Key motivation is to continue to make sure that you're able to improve lives in the country and use technology and innovation and whatever the next generation of technology can do to be able to improve lives in the
So
country.
your role model next, or maybe inspiring person?
I think I really respect people like Nandan Nilekani, who has taken learnings from his role at Infosys and technology world and has been able to create something that has impacted a billion people.
That's great. One dream that you would like to fulfill for India?
I would like to make sure that by 2037, much before Viksit Bharat, we find a way to change the attitude of people towards health.
Okay.
So we need to be a country which is not only economically successful, but a country of healthy people.
That's
so
great.
I want to be able to really work now for the next 10 years, 12 years.
In health sector?
In the health sector.
Okay, that's great. So one contribution you would like to contribute for your village where you born and brought up?
I born and brought up
In
close
urban
to, no, in urban area, but my father is from this place close to Bangalore called Nandi Hills. So there I have taken up this mission of having almost a few lakh trees in that Nandi Hills area.
Okay, so your message for generation, new young generation, one message that you'd like to convey?
Our country is at a very, very great pivotal moment, and this is India's time, and it's an opportunity and responsibility for every young Indian to take India to the next level, from a developing nation to a developed nation, and each of us have to play a role in it.
That's great. Your favorite food?
I love Chinese food, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Your favorite color? Favorite pastime you have already discussed.
But I also, my other favorite pastime is wildlife.
Oh, the
I
wildlife you like.
spend a lot of time with wildlife.
Okay,
yeah.
that's great. So here the rapid fire question rounds finished. You have answered the questions very properly, very well. जी हाँ, तो हम बातचीत कर रहे थे प्रकाश सर से. लगातार इन्होंने सारे प्रश्नों के जवाब दिए हैं. उद्योगपति हैं और इन्होंने एक्सेल इंडिया के लिए बहुत काम किया है. को-फाउंडर भी हैं और देश के भविष्य के लिए बहुत चिंतित रहते हैं. भारत के लिए इनका सपना है, ड्रीम है, जिस ड्रीम को ये पूरा करना चाहते हैं. उम्मीद है हमें ऐसे और भी प्रकाश सर मिलते रहेंगे जो देश को, भारत को सितारा बनाने में अपनी महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाएंगे. आई एम श्योर ये भारत को जिस दिशा में ले जा रहे हैं, इंडिया के लिए जो इन्होंने ड्रीम देखा है, वो सारे ड्रीम पूरे हों. एंड ही इज़ सो हार्ड वर्किंग एंड इनफैक्ट ही इज़ की इंस्पिरेशन फॉर न्यू जनरेशन. एंड आई एम रियली थैंकफुल कि इन्होंने समय दिया और अपने कीमती वक्त में से समय निकालकर आप लोगों तक संदेश पहुंचाया. चलते चलते देश के नाम संदेश, आज इन्हें पद्मश्री मिला है और इस संदेश के साथ हम कार्यक्रम को समाप्त करेंगे. सर, आप एक छोटा सा संदेश लेंगे, अ मैसेज टुवर्ड्स द नेशन हु इज वाचिंग यू ऑन द इवेंट ऑफ दिस Padmashri Award.
I would just like to give a message to the next generation of entrepreneurs. We have a huge opportunity to make India a startup nation, and this is the dream and the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, and we have to make India a key global superpower, and one way of doing that is by making sure that we create startups that build the next generation of technologies and that create innovation not only for India but from India for the rest of the world. And each of us have that opportunity, and I'm sure we have the capability to be able to make India a force to reckon with when it comes to startup.
So thank you so much watching for us and watching for this very, very most important video. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Namaskar.